Hello there, I'm the Base Manager and welcome to a quick video for the patch notes for Space Haven Alpha 13. Given that we are mid-playthrough, I thought it was appropriate for us to take a look through these notes, given that they are going to affect us a little bit, and well, while we see this, I can always give you my honest opinion about them. So let's start by reading the part that most affects us right here in the beginning, regarding some older save games and custom games. Well, basically says that note that since the research tree has been modified, old Alpha 12 saved games will have a few facilities locked, which should not be locked. You can research them again to unlock them. Also, if you like to start a new game using your own custom difficulty settings, it is best to create a new custom game from one of the default difficulties, as the old settings might not be completely compatible with the new changes. So basically we can continue our playthrough, but might not be a bad idea to start a new one. We'll see what happens. I still have one more episode from Alpha 12 to release, so we'll see about that. And it is not today's episode, by the way, guys. But in any case, let's take a look at the changes that we get, and we start with my least favorite one, the new research system. At first glance, basically what this is that they reorganized the research modules. That by itself is not that terrible, and then they added a few more things, a multi-stage research scheme where you have to do your own research, as we were doing on Alpha 12, and then we need to conduct some experiments as well. You also get some research from the dismantling thingies when you are doing your salvaging, so that might be the balancing thingy over here, because I'm going to tell you why I personally am not a big fan of this. Is that research, in my opinion, is super slow. In this game is extremely slow. We are on episode 10, we don't have most of the stuff unlocked, even though we have two people researching all the time. That's kind of ridiculous if you ask me. So adding more stuff on top of that kind of leaves me not particularly happy. However, if they balance it correctly to the point that it doesn't take even longer to unlock researches, then I'm a big fan. Diversifying the way we do research so it's just not a boring task, I think it's a good idea overall. So pretty much you are going to have new buildings to conduct said researches and whatnot. You have also new buildings like the research station, which also will help you out with basic research. So pretty much like the repair station, you pay money and you get a service. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Now, probably my favorite change is a new starting scenario, which pretty much just launches you into space with a pre-made ship. So pretty much if you want to skip that part where you build a ship, which is always 2 episodes for us, we can just get into this one, start going, and then we modify it to our needs. Personally, big fan of this new start. The new difficulty level, not for me. If you know me, I like to play my games standard difficulty. That's it. Still, if someone else wants a more challenging experience, well, now you can. Next is the Interstellar Travel threats. Now this one, I have mixed feelings about it, because, well, truth be told, we know that using the hyperspace sleep chambers is like, you don't need to do that. Why are you going to waste your resources doing that, right? You are not. They are going to be dizzy for 10 minutes after they do the hyper jump from 2 star systems, right? And that's it. However, now you have an incentive, because there is harsher penalties for not doing so. The penalties are depending on your difficulty. As we can see, these effects are minor for peaceful, builder, and medium difficulties, which is usually the difficulty that we play our playthroughs, and they, have a bigger impact on harsh and brutal. So far, I mean, like, it's punishing in the early game, but Space Haven is a very punishing early game kind of thing. After you are set up, the game stops being punishing. So this is only going to punish you even more in the early game. But at the same time, it is a mechanic that you could see miles away was coming, because they added the hypersleep chambers. They were definitely going to do something like this. You know, this was an obvious one. It was going to arrive eventually. So I don't have a big issue with it. It's just that it just makes the game a tad bit more punishing in the early game. So, you know, another thing to deal with. Not a big problem. Difficulty customization. I mean, you can customize your difficulty further. Nothing too much to see there. Now, NPCs get additional small ships, so that's a good change for me. I like it. I like the diversity of different ships that the NPC have, and I like that they are adding even more. Expanding on available services. Always nice, always nice. You can pretty much request doctors now, which, if you remember and if you saw my playthrough, was one of my major complaints about the early game, is the fact that you can get a certain stage, a certain modifier like bleeding, and you don't have a bed to take care of it, and that modifier just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and that character pretty much is useless for a huge amount of time. Now there is a way to fix that. You can simply send your character to a doctor. And you know what? I like it. I approve, given that the medical bed is so far down the tech tree. There was something needing... we needed something in that in that regard as well. So let's moving on. A more elaborate accident system. So pretty much you can have different kinds of accidents now that will result in different modifiers. We will see a little bit more about that down the patch notes, but yeah, and now you can apparently do some accidents while conducting experiments that might not go so well for you. So look out with those experiments. Now we come to the scary part of this patch. Okay, this is scary. This is scary shit, guys. The devs, they are going full alien on us. So pretty much alien datasheets, cocoons and infestations. Because if you think your ship is free of infestations, think again. Because now in alien cocoons you may find crew members, but those crew members might have a nasty surprise inside of them. Did you ever see aliens? This is what apparently is going to happen. Okay, so pretty much they will have this seizure and start infesting everybody with more alien stuff. Do you really want to rescue this guy? I know the answer. This guy is never getting a rescue in my playthroughs, okay guys? Yep, I'm sorry. I might free you from your cocoon, but you're someone else's problem. Not mine, definitely. But yeah, this one, amazing thing that they added. It's just a shame that unfortunately the fix for the problem created with this addition is so simple. You just don't rescue them, right? And in theory you should never get an infestation, but I think that the next step down the line should be your colonists, they go inside their ships and they bring the infestation like in the boxes that they carry inside with the materials, you know. That might be the next step, so look out for that. But in any case, I approve of this greatly. We also have alien datasheets, so I will stop calling them Zerglings and Overlords, because apparently now they have a name. It's Crawler and Hauler. I like it, so I'm going to assume they are going to add additional aliens in the future, because creating a datasheet for 2 aliens only doesn't seem like a thing. So I think maybe more aliens should be coming in the near future. Now another amazing change, guys, another amazing change is an overhaul to the combat system and AI behavior. We can now add cover. So pretty much you can now take cover behind objects. Great, fantastic, I like it. Any game with cover system, in my opinion, amazing, just saying. And the AI will also do the same to protect their ships. They will create small embankments with just cover objects to protect their ships. So, personally, I approve of this greatly. I don't know how this might affect the alien incursions, like for example when you are going inside a ship. That might be interesting. For example, if a hauler, apparently that's the name of that thing, is coming towards you, he may lunge at you and be stopped in here. I don't know, I have to see. Or maybe he'll have to go around before lunging at you, which is just fantastic. You have a ton of time to shoot him while that thing is going around, so great. We have some new facilities for body storage, robot storage, and now the workbench no longer stores the robots. You can apparently... What? The robot workbench where your crew members can disassemble robots and androids. Foot tray shows the spot where the robot android remains placed. The robot workbench is a facility used to pick apart robots and android remains and scrap them for unusable materials. Yep, there's that. So research workbench, it is slightly different now, but okay. Now, new character conditions. Like I said, we were gonna talk about this. These are the new conditions that might come from the different accidents that you may have. You have a messing up, general injury, broken arm, burn dead. Okay, this one is ouchy. Vision loss, inhaling toxic fumes. This one is not a good one, especially after today's episode, guys. Yeah, after today's episode, if this episode had occurred on Alpha13, our guys would not be happy. Exposure to loud noises, chronic wounds, and knocked unconscious. So, a few more modifiers to ruin your day. And a few more backstories as well. Cool. Nothing major or groundbreaking in there. Now, groundbreaking is the fact that we can place lights on the floor. I approve, once again. The lights are a cumbersome thing to have around. Sometimes you can put them on the walls, but when you have smaller rooms, it's kinda... Sometimes you have to make compromises to put the lightings. Now, you don't. You can just place them on the floor. That's fantastic. You have new types of lighting, floor lighting, and these thingies now. You also have a search mechanism to find the items that you want, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, my opinion overall seems like a good thing. I would rather start from. I'm sorry, guys. I would rather have a fresh start with a new starting scenario, then continue on our playthrough, given that a few things have changed and I don't really feel like dealing with them. But I will still think about it. Like I said, we still have one more episode to release, and overall, this is scary. This is whatever. Continue ruining my day. I love you, Space Haven, for that. And this one, however, the research thingy is the one that leaves me a little bit on the back foot. Like I said, if they balanced this part, I mean, I am okay with it, but if they just add something else for you to do before you unlock things, I am going to be pissed off, because research is so freaking slow in this game. It really is. It really is. It's the bane of my existence. Like, and the price for thingies over here doesn't appear to have changed. You still have to have a lot of research, basic research, and a little bit of the intermediary and advanced research. So I'm pretty sure they didn't change anything about this. They just added another stage for basic research and a few more things that you have to do before you unlock them. You know, the experiments. So in this case, basically, you have two stages before you can have this, right? You have the basic, you have to do these 2 experiments, then you have to do 40 points of basic research, then you have to do 140 points of basic research, 45 of intermediary, and 8 of advanced. Dear Lord, please save me, right? It's a lot. I understand where they are going, trying to make research not a boring thing. But at the same time, if you look at every other game, research is a boring part. RimWorld, Oxygen not included, you know, all of those games, research is you put a guy on a station and he unlocks stuff over time. So, We'll see. We'll see. In a new playthrough that we might get, we can have a good grasp of the new research balance, because we already blast through most of the basic research anyway, so we won't really have a good idea on how things are going if we just start this new alpha mid playthrough. So I think that in order for me to have a good grasp on this aspect, a fresh playthrough is needed. But in any case, guys, I already rambled long enough. Let me know what you think about this new alpha, and without having anything else to say, this is the base manager signing out. Bye bye.